Okay, so we want to get through two things in this session. We want to be able to easily calculate the shortest path and the longest path between 2 points. Now, this starts on, not actually page 420, a little bit before that in your textbook, on page 417-18. Basically, what they're asking you to do is just do trial and error. So you can see that these ones now have weights on each edge, and so trial and error, you have to add up that, so 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 4, then add up that plus that plus that plus that, and keep doing all the different combinations until you have the shortest one. I was like, oh, who wants to do that? So hopefully you'll be pleased to know you don't have to do this. Lovely mathematician, he came up with a bit of a system on how to find the shortest path. Now, I don't particularly like this example because, I don't know, it's just a little bit too obvious, I think. So we'll do one that's a little bit trickier. By all means, feel free to go and read this process, but I think it's better if we just dive in and you follow as I do it. Also, for those people who have a printer at home, you might, because we're going to do a lot of these diagrams, instead of you drawing them, if you've got a printer, then on Daymap, these exercises here are the copies of those diagrams if you would like to. Those who don't have a printer, you're with me. When I was practicing these, I drew them by hand as well. My tip to you is to make sure that you draw them quite large. So each of these, I would make at least 3 little squares across, so 1.5 centimeters each. Okay, so let's start with the first example. So we want to try and find what is the shortest path from A to O. And this is what we do. So we start with the A value, we stick a 0 there and put a box around it. This will become clear in a minute. And like we did before when we were trying to find out how many number of paths we could do, we say, okay, to go over to the only possible value or way to go now to B is A to B. And that's got 2, so then we put a 2 here and box it around. I also strongly recommend that you have a different colour pen to do this, or pencil. And similarly, if we're going this way, we've got 1, so we put a 1 next to the F and we box that as well. This is where it starts to get a little bit different. So now when we go to G, we're wanting to get the shortest path. Now, if I go here, if I go 2 to 3, 2 plus 3, that's 5. Whereas if I went 1 plus 2, that's 3. So 3 is the shortest one. So I put the 3 and I put a box. Okay. And we keep on going. So we still have to go this way. All right. So 1 plus 4, that means I've got a 5 and a box around it. Now to get to L, because remember we're still sort of all going in that direction because we're going to O. So we've still got the don't go backtracking. This time, so 5 plus the 2 gives me 7, or 5 plus the 3, which is 8. So we want the shortest one, which means 7 is the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So we pop the 7 there. All right, and I'm just going to go back up to the top now. So to get to C, we've only got going that way there. So 2 plus 3, that becomes a 5. Put the box around it. Okay, now to get to H, you have to wait and check for M over here first. So to get here, 7 plus 2, that is 9. All right, now to get to H, remember we're sort of traveling now. I guess you could argue that's sort of going backwards a little bit, whereas this is coming towards. So we can't actually go up that way. Anyway, so get to H, 5 plus 6 is 11, or 3 plus 3, that's 6. So we want the shortest again, so 6 is the winner. Okay. It'll all become clear soon. one hopes. All right, now 5 plus 5, you've got the 10 there, put the box around it. To get to I, you've got 10, so 10 plus 2 is 12 as opposed to 6 plus 2, which is 8. So we're going to go again for the lowest one, which is 8. And to get to n, is it going to be 8? Is it going to be 8 plus 2? Or is it going to be 9 plus 4? So clearly 8 plus 2 is smaller. That gives me the 10. You can see you've got to be pretty careful with how you write stuff. I was getting a little bit messy there. It was hard to see that that was 9. So make sure that you are clear in your working. 10 plus 2, that's 12. And so 12 plus 3 is 15 as opposed to 8 plus 1 is 9. And then to finish it off, 9 plus 4, so 9 plus 4 is 13, but that is more than 10 plus 2, so 12 is the winner. And you go, oh, how am I meant to remember all of that? You find it's not so bad. So now we have to get our path, and we go from where we finished. So it was O, and 12 take 2 gave me the 10. And then it's not going to be 10. So 10 take 4 doesn't give me 9, so we're not going that way, right? That doesn't work. But 10 take 2 does give me the 8. And how did we go from here? 8 take 2 is not 10, so we can't go that way. It's 8 take 2 gives you the 6 there. And, you know, you might be able to remember. Some of you might think, why don't I just do that as I'm going? Bit of a hard call. And there, and then there. Okay? So the path would then be, I mean, I went backwards there. Remember, we're going that way. So it would be A to F to G to H to I to N and then to O. That's a total of 12 units. So I know that seems pretty complicated or irritating, as some of you might think about it. I can just picture some of your faces there looking at this going, what? So we'll practice the next one, or we'll do the next one together. So those of you who have a printer, you can just keep on going and do it on your sheet. Those of you who have to draw, you pause the video, draw your diagram again, make it large, because it makes your life a very, very easy. So hopefully you've got your diagram all labelled and whatnot in front of you. So if you're reading the question, this is question 15C2 1A, and we're going from A to Z. So because we're starting at A, we put the 0 there. Done. Now the only way that we can go is there and there. So to B it's 2, and to D it's 4. So pop the numbers in, the weights. All right, to get to E, it can either be 2 plus 3, 5, or 4 plus 2, 6. So clearly 5 is the winner. There she blows. To get to G, it's 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, now H. This is where we have to decide. Is it 5 plus 3, which is 8, or 5 plus 1, 6? So 6 is clearly the shortest. You don't discount coming around the outside. So 2 plus, up here, 2 plus 3. That gives me the, see, I'm getting a bit messy. Be neat as you possibly can. That gives me 5. And what about F? What do you think? Is it 5 plus 3 or 5 plus 4? 5 plus 3 is 8. And on the home stretch, we've either got 6 plus 2, that is clearly less than 8 plus 5, so 8. All right, so the shortest path is going to be 8 units. And what is the pathway that we have selected? So from 8, it can't be 8 and 5, gives me the 8 over here, so we're not going that way. It means it's that way. And then it was 6 take 1 gave me 5, 5 take 1, and 4 take 4. So my path is going to be A to D to G to H to Z, and as we wrote, it's already the 8 units. What do you think? On to the next one. So again, sorry for those people. I would have given you the printout in class, but through Cheers for Lockdown. It is quite soothing to draw these, trust me. So take your time, draw it. Again, do it nice and big. Doesn't have to be with a ruler, although I did see some of your diagrams for some of you earlier, and pristine, pristine. So pause your video if you're drawing. Those of you who don't need to draw, we're ready to go. So we're still going from A to Z. I'd like to think that maybe you can pause the video because you don't need to listen to this, because we do the same thing. Oh, I think I want to go back to the blue. We'll start off with our 0. Okay, and the only way to get to B is via the 10. Same with the D, the only way is via the D. Okay, now to get to E, it's either going to be 10 plus 4 or 12 plus 8. So 14 is our lowest value there. We've got 12 plus 9 is 21. And to get to I, 14 plus 6 or 21 plus 7, so clearly that is the 20. Okay, what's going on here now? To get to C, 10 plus 7 is 17. And this time, to get to F, it's not just C plus 5 or E plus 3. We also have to consider going diagonally. Okay, so 17 and 5, last time I checked, 22. 10 plus 9 is 19. 14 plus 3 is 17, so 17 wins. To J, 20 plus 30, clearly that's not going to happen. 17 plus 4 is 21. Okay, and we're nearly there. 17 plus 7 is 24. So 24 plus 1 is 25, and that beats 29. So 25 is our answer for that's how long the shortest path is, but don't forget we actually have to state the way to get there. So last one we knew was there to there. Now how did we get the 24? That was from F, and 17 plus 5, or 17 take 5 doesn't give me 17. It was 17 take 3, gave me the 14. Where did we go from the E? 14 to B. And there we go. So our path was A to B to E, right to F, and then off to G to Z, and make sure that you're right there. That was 25 units. I find these quite soothing. Maybe that's just me. The good news, peeps, try and have a go at C and D. Look, again, if I could give you the printouts, it's nice to sit there, have a little bit of a puzzle almost, but I think if you can do question 1 and 2, okay, 1, 2 and 3, we won't do 4. I was going to ask you to do that, but no. How about just question 1, 2 and 3. And what I'm going to need from you is for you to give me a bit of a photo of your work and pop that up onto Daymap. So show me that you have done these questions. Thanks very much. And there'll be one more video for the longest path.